beansandmachines.com.
My friend gave me this spot welder over the summer. In addition to welding sheet metal, another application I've heard these used for is making wire baskets. This is something I'd be very interested in since I've done several bike basket modifications without one, having to painstakingly bend the wires to keep them in place. While the original flat spot welder tips may very well work for this, I wanted to make some with grooves in them to better grip the wires and make it more convenient to hold them. I started with this piece of copper that looks like a chunk cut off one of those 8-foot grounding rods. I began by parting off this jagged edge to start with a clean face. Wait a minute, why is it not cutting? Oh, I know what this is. This isn't real copper. It's one of those copper-coated steel rods. And sure enough, the magnet attracts to it. Well, I definitely can't make the tips out of this, because they just weld themselves to each other. Okay, here we have some real copper, nice and shiny. You know, whenever I see that, it always reminds me of one of the Harry Potter books, because I used to adore those covers as a kid, because the words looked all metallic. I'm starting by facing it and turning down the diameter for an 8mm thread. I will cut the threads with an 8mm die. Here I am using the tailstock drill chuck to guide the die so the threads come out straight. I then flipped the die around so I could thread all the way to the shoulder, since the thread starting side has a gradual lead-in that doesn't cut all the way. I then turned the rest of the diameter smooth and plunged the tip angle with this cutter. After that, I flipped it around, parted off the excess, and faced off the tip. I filed some wrench flats on the new tips because I was too lazy to fire up the milling machine. After tightening them down all the way, I scribed on them to remember which one is top and bottom. This way the wire grooves will register correctly whenever I swap them out. I used a small square file to make the wire grooves. In retrospect, I don't know why I made them at 45 degrees to the direction of the tongs, since if I'm welding baskets, it would be better to make them 90 to have more reach. Unless of course my baskets are woven diagonal. Nevertheless, the wires fit nicely into the grooves. Alright, let's try it out on this coat hanger. Well, it looks like it works, though I definitely left the heat on for too long. Destructive test reveals the base metal is weaker than the weld. It's going to take some practice to determine the proper weld duration, since it's only a fraction of a second. I cut the hanger up and made a small metal grid out of it. I'm quite surprised at how strong the joints come out, given such a small contact area. I look forward to making some baskets with this technique, as I found 2 boxes full of them, and they might actually be stainless steel.